Are you guys ready to go back in the water?
Yep.
You took your GoPro this time?
Hell yeah!
To the back cave. Not very good with this, but let's see how it works out. We just finished the Barbie line. We're going into the back cave now. This will be a shorter route, but much prettier.
One of the most famous and the largest cenote in all of Mexico is the Dos Ojos cenote. Dos Ojos, in Spanish, translates to two eyes, is a part of a flooded cave located north of Tulum on the Caribbean coast in the state of Quintana Roo, Mexico. The name is derived from two close-by sinkholes connected by a corridor that runs about 400 meters long. Natural light is abundant, and in this particular area, the visibility underwater is unbelievable. Dos Ojos cenote diving is an unforgettable, gorgeous experience that will surpass all of your expectations. Today's dive was with the Cenote Guy. You can look them up on www.thecenoteguy.com. The cenotes have a fascinating history. These cenotes were formed during the last ice age when the sea levels were much lower and the area was covered by a shallow sea. As the sea retreated, the limestone bedrock was exposed and rainwater began to dissolve the rock, creating sinkholes or cenotes. As rainwater seeps into the porous limestone, it slowly dissolves the rock, forming intricate networks of underwater caves and caverns. These caves and caverns can be difficult to explore, and it is important for divers to have proper training and equipment to safely navigate these environments. Our dive instructor for today is the magnificent Mel. You can see her floating effortlessly, giving us instructions to maintain her buoyancy. When I asked her, she casually mentioned this is probably her 3000th dive. So, yep, we are up for an adventure. This is not a sponsored video, but I'd like to highlight the fact that cenote diving is extremely specialized and you're better off going with experts who know what they're talking about so that you can see things safely and in an environment that is always under the control of the dive instructor. Another interesting thing that I learned during this dive was that caves and caverns are significantly different from each other. Caverns have access to natural light and may also have access to air domes which allow you to surface. Caves, on the other hand, have no access to natural light and can be quite daunting. It is important for divers to be mindful of their surroundings at all times to avoid damaging the delicate formations and also avoid being scratched because they can be really sharp. The limestone formations that decorate the caverns are some of the most fascinating features of these underwater environments. Stalactites and stalagmites are formed by the slow dripping of mineral-rich water. Over time, these formations grow and take on unique shapes and patterns. Stalactites grow from the ceiling of the caverns and form when water drips slowly from the roof. The water deposits small amounts of minerals, and over millions of years, these minerals accumulate and form a long, narrow structure that can grow to several meters in length. Stalagmites, on the other hand, grow from the floor of the caverns and form when water drips onto the ground. As the water evaporates, it leaves behind mineral deposits, and over time, these deposits accumulate and form a conical or column-like structure that can reach several meters in height. I know by now a bunch of you would be thinking, oh my god, diving underwater inside a cave with no access to the surface in nearly complete darkness sounds daunting. Let me assure you, cenote diving is extremely safe, and with companies like the Cenote Guy and Mel as our instructor, you'll feel extremely comfortable doing this, and this would be an experience that you will remember for the rest of your life. Hey look, that's me! Woohoo! And that's Mel. Mel explained to us that the Bat Cave is a part of a system called Sak Aktun, the longest underwater cave system in the world, currently explored up to 364 kilometers. It is situated 45 kilometers south of Playa del Carmen, 15 kilometers north of Tulum. With thousands of little fruit bats flying around, the Bat Cave is super famous. The good thing is, if you don't want to scuba dive, you can snorkel your way to the Bat Cave as well. It was great to find out that these networks of underground rivers flow for thousands and thousands of kilometers. Very few of them have been explored so far. Fascinating. The ancient Maya believed that the cenotes were portals to the underworld and that they were sacred places where the gods resided. They would make offerings to the gods and perform ceremonies to appease them. But this was all in the past. In the early 80s, most of these cenotes were used to wash cars. Detergents, soaps, oils, and various other harmful chemicals have been leached into these cave systems for decades. And it's extremely important that we treat these treasures for what they are. And as if all of this art was just not enough, just look at the amazing reflections that are created by air bubbles being trapped at the ceiling of these cenotes. As we surface and take in the beauty of the cenotes from above, we can't help but feel a sense of awe and gratitude for this magical underwater world. I hope you enjoyed this glimpse into the mysterious depths of the Dos Ojos cenotes in Mexico. So to all the scuba divers out there, if you haven't experienced the cenotes, you better put it up in your bucket list.